JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, Ragface cut down by police in St. Catherine. A suspected contract killer, believed to be associated with the notorious One Order gang, was shot and killed during a confrontation with the police on Salt Pond Main Road in St. Catherine on Friday. He is Lucian Barnes, otherwise known as Ragface. Barnes was linked to multiple murders in and outside St. Catherine. Reports are that about 1:30 p.m. on Friday, lawmen assigned to specialized operations attempted to stop a heavily tinted grey Toyota Belter motor car on the Salt Pond Main Road. The police said the driver of the vehicle opened fire at the lawmen and a gunfight ensued. The driver reportedly fled the vehicle and continued to trade bullets with the police. He reportedly collapsed on an embankment after being shot multiple times. A .45 American tactical Titan handgun and 2 rounds of ammunition were reportedly taken from him. A woman was found in the vehicle suffering from a gunshot wound to the left shoulder. Police say a search of the vehicle uncovered 120 rounds of ammunition. Chubby wanted for murder. Detectives assigned to the Falmouth Criminal Investigations Branch have listed Akeem Frame, otherwise called Chubby, as wanted. Frame is wanted for the murder of Kemar Williams, otherwise called Kenny, which was committed on July 31. The police say he's of Peel Street, Falmouth, and Hague in the parish. Anyone with information that can assist the police in locating Akeem Frame is being asked to contact the Falmouth Police at 876-954-3271, Police 119 emergency number, Crime Stopper 311, or the nearest police station. Gun and ammunition seized in Greenwich Town. The Hunts Bay Police seized one Taurus 9mm pistol fitted with a magazine containing 2 9mm rounds of ammunition during an operation in Greenwich Town, Kingston 13 on Monday. According to a police report, about 4 p.m., lawmen conducted a search of a premises and the gun was found at the back of the house. No one was arrested in relation to the seizure. Investigations continue. Murder accused his wife left devastated after bail revoked. An American woman who flew to Jamaica to marry the co-defendant in Portland businessman Everton Beatrice McDonald's murder case was yesterday left devastated when her husband's bail was revoked. The woman and the accused, Oscar Barnes, got married on Sunday. She was seen crying and following her husband as was led from the courtroom in handcuffs. Barnes was overheard telling her to trust God. The 33-year-old Tyler was granted bail earlier this year and had been enjoying his freedom up until Justice Chester Stamp revoked his bail on Monday. Meanwhile, the trial has been stalled after one of the jurors failed to turn up this morning. Presiding Judge Justice Chester Stamp, after summoning the 6 other jurors, informed them of the situation while reminding them that the trial is unable to proceed if one of them is absent. However, the foreman indicated that he did not think the missing juror would be showing up. The matter was adjourned until tomorrow. Earlier, the judge told the court that efforts are being made to contact the juror to find out when he'll be present. In the meantime, the judge advised that the authorities be alerted to use whatever means to locate him. He added that the registrar had advised him that the juror had written a letter asking to be excused, but his request was not granted. McDonald and his co-accused, Oscar Barnes, are being tried for the July 2020 murder of McDonald's wife, Tonya. Police probing suspected drowning of 7-year-old girl in Manchester tank. Police are probing a case of suspected drowning involving a child said to be age 7 in a tank in Comfort District, Manchester on Tuesday. Residents identified the child only as Kimmy, a grade 1 student at a nearby school. Residents said that about midday the child was attempting to retrieve a slipper from the tank when she lost her balance and fell in. Residents said an alarm was raised, alerting the police and firefighters, who responded and removed the child's body from the tank. SSL gets $1 million insurance payout. Government funds no longer required, says Clark. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark says public funds are no longer necessary to pay the salaries and operational expenses of Frauded Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL. He says SSL has received an insurance payout of $1 million or 155 million Jamaican dollars, which was used to pay the August bills. With this new development, no taxpayer money, no government of Jamaica resources, no public funds have or will be used to support SSL in the payment of any of its employees or any other of its expenses, Clark said in a statement on Tuesday. The government has faced public backlash after Clark announced earlier this month that about $15 million of public money will be used to cover expenses at SSL to avoid disruptions in the ongoing investigations into the alleged fleecing of more than $4 billion from clients. Staff of the private investment and brokerage firm stayed off the job in late August to protest the non-payment of the funds. Clark sought to clarify that the money was not directly from tax collections, but from proceeds of ill-gotten gains recovered by the government's Financial Investigations Division. Commentators and the opposition People's National Party dismissed the distinction about the source of funds and demanded to know the cost involved in the probe and for how long public funds would be used. In his statement, Clark said SSL received the insurance payout on September 7, which allowed the August salaries to be paid without a drawdown from the Financial Services Commission FSC, which took temporary management of SSL in January when the alleged fraud was reported. He said the insurance claim was made to the insurers in England in April by Keith Tomlinson, the temporary manager installed by the FSC. The agency regulates investment houses. Clark said approximately two-thirds of SSL's net salary bill for August was paid last Monday without any financial support from the government. The other one-third had been paid earlier by SSL. The $1 million insurance payout represents a maximum limit claimable under SSL's insurance policies, the finance minister explained. Some 22 people are employed at SSL, and their total monthly wage bill is $9.5 million, Clark said earlier this month. There are also other operating expenses of $5 million monthly, in addition to one-off fees for legal services, among other things. It should be noted, however, that complete removal of SSL as a contingent liability of the GOJ requires the final determination by the court on the issues surrounding what's proper authority over SSL, whether it is the Financial Services Commission's appointed temporary manager or the SSL board appointed trustee, the minister said. Cop sues Jamaican health authorities over leg amputation in the U.S. A policeman whose right leg had to be amputated above the knee because of a gunshot injury he suffered in September 2017 is contending that it was negligence, lack of proper care, and the treatment at two local hospitals that led to the removal of his appendage at an American hospital. Corporal Marvin March, 44, has sued the Western Regional Health Authority, the Southern Regional Health Authority, and the Attorney General, seeking millions of dollars in compensation. Senior Attorney at Law Anthony Williams, who is representing Marsh, said he was now back on the job, but Marsh was disappointed that he could no longer perform regular foot patrol duties which he loves or go to court. No amputation and suffer death, or amputate and live. Those were the two choices available to Marsh when he got to the hospital in the United States, Williams said. Marsh outlined in his claim filed in the Supreme Court last week that he was admitted on September 18, 2017 at the Falmouth Public General Hospital and underwent an emergency fasciotomy surgery to the right leg thigh region. He said no fasciotomy surgery was done to the right lower leg where he received the entry gunshot wound. Consequent on the unskilled care and the management of his injuries, he said he requested to be discharged, and that took place on October 5, 2017. He was subsequently admitted to the Mandeville Regional Hospital from October 9, 2017 to October 28, 2017. He said during the period, he underwent several fasciotomies on his right upper and lower limb, but because of unskilled care and management, his condition deteriorated. He contends that there was failure or neglect to administer any proper or effective medications to him so as to prevent the fasciotomy wounds from becoming infected. Marsh had to seek emergency medical consultation and treatment on October 29, 2017 at Kings County Medical Hospital in New York, where he said he suffered an above-the-knee amputation because of alleged negligence at the Mandeville and the Falmouth hospitals. The defendants are being blamed for failing to provide a staff of professional medical men to act in accordance with a practice accepted as proper by a body of medical men skilled in the field of orthopedics and or general surgery to deal with compartmental syndrome, secondary to gunshot wounds, and fasciotomy surgery. Williams explained that, despite the fact that Marsh was shot at his home in Trelawney, the hospitals owed him a duty of care to give him the best medical treatment. However, that was not done. So when Marsh went to the United States, his leg was infested, Williams said. He said Marsh wasted no time in getting treatment overseas because the day after he left the Mandeville Hospital, he was overseas getting medical treatment. He disclosed that it was then diagnosed that the leg was infested with bacteria and sepsis. Williams said Marshy's muscular tissues were dead and he was diagnosed to be suffering from necrosis. By the time Marsh got to America, it was hopeless, Williams added. Williams is now in the process of serving the defendants with copies of the suit that was filed, and he said he's hoping the matter will be resolved amicably. JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.